It wasn't exactly a lucky coin, but it did turn out to be priceless, bringing two people together for a lifetime.
I worked at the hospital, and I brought my niece in. She had swallowed a penny, and she needed x-rays.
And I happened to be on x-ray that night.
So we did the x-ray.
I knew her from the hospital. I knew I'd seen her from the OR where she worked.
He had a nice smile, and I said to myself, oh, maybe that's the guy for me.
We got to know each other.
Went out 3 years.
We ended up getting married and having two wonderful boys.
And here we are, 50 years after. I wouldn't change anything.
Well, perhaps one thing.
To see that happen was just unbelievable, really.
It's an eye-opener for sure. So definitely scary.
The Viaus know the trauma of a deadly disease.
I call it the silent killer in a way, because you can be leading a healthy life and yet it can still get its hands on you.
Gilles, Colette, and their son Luc, all still here, thanks to the University of Ottawa Heart Institute.
They saved my life and the life of my loved ones.
It was in 2003 when Gilles, a lifelong athlete, began feeling unwell during a curling match and drove himself to hospital.
Once I got there, I realized things are bad. To a point where when I was in Emerge, I thought I was going to die.
It was like being hit by a train. The shock that this was happening.
They obviously announced that, yeah, you've had a heart attack and we need to send you to the Ottawa Heart Institute as soon as possible.
Gilles had several major blockages of his coronary arteries.
The major problem with this disease is deposition of cholesterol plaques in the coronary arteries which feed the heart. So as a result, over time they're at risk of developing heart attack, damage to the heart muscle, and having symptoms of angina.
Under the expert care of Dr. Michel Lemay, Gilles received 7 stents over a 2-year period, restoring blood flow to his heart. But the then 54-year-old husband and father wondered what his future might hold.
How it would affect the rest of my life? Am I even going to have the rest of my life?
In fact, for 13 years, Gilles' life was healthy and happy. But in 2017, he noticed his condition was deteriorating, and shortly after, had a second heart attack at home. The next day, he would have a third heart attack at the University of Ottawa Heart Institute.
I was scared now. I said, now I'm going to die. I'm not going to make it. And I was very hyper, and the nurse, I wish I knew her name. She came to me and said, listen, this is what we do here. Settle down. We'll take care of it. And it calmed me like unbelievable, because I said, where else could I get this kind of care?
Gilles would undergo open heart surgery, a quintuple bypass.
If I was going to have it, that was the best place to have it.
Gilles lost a brother to heart disease. His sister Janine, a patient of the Heart Institute, has had 2 heart attacks. So Gilles' doctors had advice for sons Luc and Eric.
You see your father? Go get checked.
I remember the doctor saying, you can't beat your genetics, but you can always help yourself. So it really plays in your head that, maybe tomorrow or in a month or in a year, that could be me in the hospital bed.
Eric proved to be fine, but over time his older brother Luc was not.
And I remember getting these dizzy spells, and I thought, this is kind of weird and kind of scary.
Just 6 months after his dad's surgery, Luc would be the newest VO with heart issues.
We found some blockages. You have 3 blockages. And I said, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. I was 40 at the time.
The emotions of love for your children, it can't be possible that it's re-happening.
But it was. Luc would have a triple bypass, potentially averting a heart attack or worse.
What if I didn't do anything about it? What if I was a ticking time bomb out there, like they say, and like there are people like that, and who knows? So, very lucky.
You realize that life can change in a moment.
And Colette's moment was October 2023.
I had a heart attack.
A shock because she was active, ate well, and was symptom-free.
I didn't have chest pain. I didn't have a feeling of weakness. I didn't pass out. Nothing.
I said, line up 100 people, and I'll tell you, she's the healthiest one there. But she wasn't.
Colette would have a successful quadruple bypass surgery.
I was so happy. I was so happy. And I said to myself in that bed, I will not waste a minute of my day. This is a gift that I've been given.
That gift from the University of Ottawa Heart Institute's Dr. Fraser Rubens, who also performed Luke's life-saving surgery, giving a mother and a son back to each other.
Sometimes in the middle of an operation, I'll just kind of stop and I'll look at my resident or my first assistant and say, you know, we really are blessed to be able to do this. We're in a situation where we can really help people. And bypass surgery is a superb example of an operation that stood the test of time, that in the vast majority of people, it gives them the chance to live longer and it improves their quality of life.
A place that keeps families together.
We're just so lucky to have a place like that.
Where the greatest gift
I am so happy they're there.
is time.
Sometimes you don't get a second chance.